Now, whether you're a newbie or a seasoned gardener, here are some of the tools that I believe everyone should have. So folks, let's show you what not to do first. What I'm covering today is the tools that you need to get going as a gardener. Now, it's not a fancy long list, it's very short, very basic. But if your tools look something like this, a bit rusted, missing a spring, held together by wire, well then you know you're heading in the wrong direction. So let's get this straight. Make sure that your gardening tools are clean, are kept clean, and are looked after. And if you get that right, then it makes the job so much easier. Because imagine trying to prune something with this. Well, you are simply going to fight away, really dislike gardening, and not get the job done. So let's go through it. We're keeping it really simple. Number one is that we are going to need a basic lopper. Now, your basic lopper could be anything. Just make sure that you're buying a good quality brand. A few things to look out for when you are getting a good lopper is to make sure that it's got these rubber things. Do you see that? Because what that does is when you are doing the cut and you push it in, it gives you, do you see that? It gives you a bit of movement. And that just helps in the comfort of using them. So you're not hacking at it. And remember, when you're cutting with a lopper, it's a squeeze. It's not a hack. Also make sure that you've got good grip, okay? A nice comfortable grip. And you can see that these work nicely because I can get my fingers in there. Just like that, nice and simple. Okay, so that's a lopper. For the basic things, digging around, digging small holes, a little garden trowel, and a little garden fork. Can do many activities. Can help loosen soil, can help dig little holes, can also help for weeding. Very simple. Keep it easy. Good secateurs, guys. A good pair of secateurs. And folks, remember, when you finished using them, make sure that you give them a clean, okay? And that's just with a bit of oil, a little bit of lubricant, give them a wipe down and put them away in a safe place that you will know where they are all the time. One of the biggest discouragement factors in gardening is when you're looking for something. You're looking for it in the garage, you're looking for it in the kitchen, in the scullery. You just don't know where you've put it. And that makes you very frustrated. By the time you get out to prune that poor plant, wowzer, that plant does never look the same again because you've been completely irritated and you end up hacking more than you should. So a good pair of secateurs is critical. Next up is your garden trug, your Gucci handbag. Have one of these because all you do is this when you are heading out into the garden. So you've got all your bits together and away you go. Make life simple. One of my favorite go-to gadgets is Sheepshears. So simple, very few moving parts that can break as you're using them, so they're sharpening each other, sharpening the blades. It can be used for various things. Most importantly, for cutting the edges of your lawn. It can also be used to prune a bit of topiary, small little hedges. Really a good, easy entry product that everyone should have. And no, this is not a weeding tool. This is for cutting the edges. Finally, what are the big guys? What do you need? Well, you always need a watering can. Get something that's practical, simple, easy to use, and make sure that you've always got a good rose. This is critical, guys. This part here, where the water's going to come out, make sure that you've got a really good rose, a nice fine spray, and also one that you can remove. If you can remove this, then it helps for multiple functions. So you can use it for good drenching, and then you can attach the rose just for a very fine spray. The next up are our rakes, spade and fork. So folks, when it comes to the other gardening tools, we need the big guns. This is a garden fork. What is it used for? Well, when you've got to turn beds, all right? So that would be the first time that you're doing any planting. We no longer turn the soil around plants. Really important. It's called the no-dig method. So once you've planted your garden, they're in their spot. You don't go around with this garden fork and start turning the beds, because then you're basically killing all the good bacteria and all the good fungi that's in there. Soon as you've planted the plants, you then want to start applying your mulch. Your mulch then ensures that everything is going to be happy and you're going to be adding more good nutrition to the soil. So clearing edges, digging holes, that's what you use this guy for. Other than that, it sits quietly on the side, waiting to get used. Next up is a beautiful garden spade. Now, folks, this used to be my mom's spade, my late mom's spade. And it is my favorite spade. So find the one that works for you. It's all about weight, it's all about your comfort and your grip, and make sure that nobody touches it. What is it used for? Digging your holes, preparing when you're planting to get in there and get that soil out. And the lovely thing about this spade is that when I'm interplanting, so going in between a bed, it's not going to cause that much damage to any other plants around. So you can really get into nice little tight areas, which is why I love it. Right, guys, the last essential gardening tool is this guy. This is a garden rake. It's a steel rake, and it's got beautiful long teeth, which is important for when you need to use it. But safety first, you'll notice that this rake is always facing down. It's never leaning up against something like that, especially not that way, because what happens is, if it's leaning up against a wall, somebody walks past, steps on it, boom, it comes back up and knocks you in the head. Even worse, if it lays just like that, someone walks past and stands on it. Many a garden drama have been created out of using a simple garden rake in the wrong position. So always make sure that that baby lives like that, very importantly. What do we use it for? We're using it for general garden prep. So this is once we've dug the beds over, all right, with our fork, we've dug them over. We've then worked out exactly where we want to put our plants, if we're sowing seeds, and then we want to get rid of some of the uneven bits, and we want to rake this bed beautifully and even. Right? And not only are the tines used, these teeth over here, they're called the tines, but also if you've got large lumps like that, you turn it over and you then just glide it. And that gives you one of the nicest level surfaces that you could work with. So there you have it, guys. Those are the basics. Of course, the list can get this long, but if you're starting out, get to grips with these, work with them, start enjoying them, and then you'll find out that I might just need that little gadget or that little attachment. Of course, if you're a gardening gadget person like me, the list just goes on and on and on. And I guess that's part of this amazing addiction called gardening.